FCS champion in 2016, second team FCS All-American, CAA Special Teams Player of the Year, Super Bowl champion with the Philadelphia Eagles, and longtime NFL player Rashard Davis.
Yeah, appreciate you, my guy. Throughout the week, we was at school in the city, we grew up in the city, was raised there, but the weekends, like, where we really got good at sports, where we really got the competition and the competitive drive, like, our heart for the whole thing was out in the country, man, out in the greenery.
Yeah. You train a lot of guys here in Florida, a lot of high school talent. Talk to me about the difference in high school football from Virginia to Florida, because like I know you've seen these Florida kids are different.
It's different, bro. My dad was like, he always been a guy like, you ain't gotta rush it. Like, you know what I mean? Your time gonna come. Learn the game for what it really is, the fundamentals and everything.
Yeah.
And then go ball, go kill when it's your time. UVA wanted me to walk on. I'm like, bro, what? I'm like, nah. You just see what I did this year, bro?
Yeah.
Mind you, I run a 4.3 at their camp the previous summer. I'm like, what are we talking about? I'm like, nah, I ain't finna walk on, bro. And y'all weren't even that good at the time.
Yeah.
So I'm like, no.
Playmakers Only podcast. You know the vibes. Today, I'm going to say that one more time.
Yep.
Playmakers Only podcast. You know the vibes. I'm your host, Jake, and today we've got a playmaker on the podcast with us. I'm going to give this man his flowers. He's got quite the resume on him. FCS champion in 2016. Second team FCS All-American, CAA Special Teams Player of the Year, Super Bowl champion with the Philadelphia Eagles, and longtime NFL player Rashard Davis.
Yeah, appreciate you, my guy.
Yeah,
appreciate you having me on. Yeah, man.
So, just to kind of give you an intro into Playmakers Only, the pod is really for Tampa Bay athletes to kind of tell their story. We'll get to know you a little bit more, and then we want to have a conversation about this ever-changing world of the business of college and professional sports. I know you've kind of done it at both levels, so really interested to hear some of your perspective on there. But I always like to start with just kind of getting to know you and getting to know your story a little bit better. So tell us, from the jump, like, where you grew up, how you got into football, so on and so forth.
Grew up in Charlottesville, Virginia. But, a lot of people know Charlottesville as, like, the city area. But really, like, my grandparents, we was always out in the country. So Louisa County, Spotsylvania. And that's where we spent a lot of our time at, especially growing up, man. Like, throughout the week, we was at school in the city. We grew up in the city, was raised there. But the weekends, like, where we really got good at sports, where we really got the competition and the competitive drive, like, our heart for the whole thing was out in the country, man, out in the greenery. You know what I mean? We had sand basketball courts, like, put them up, nail them up to the tree, and that's what it was. Like, we got it in, bro, and we played, like, all sports. Like, I tell a lot of people, like, when I grew up, I did everything, bro. Mountain biking competitively, like, golf here and there, tennis here and there. And football is just one of those things. Like, I watched my dad play until he was 46.
Wow.
Like, semi-pro, bro. Like, mind you, jumping over guys. He's shorter than me.
In Charlottesville he played?
In Charlottesville.
Okay.
And it was like Charlottesville, Northern Virginia area, down and around. They actually came out to Florida, played a couple times out in Miami. But, it was one of those things, like, all-around athlete, but football is just one of the, like, the primary sports that not even just good at, but just, like, just loved it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So I got one for you. Like, you train a lot of guys here in Florida, a lot of high school talent. Talk to me about the difference in high school football from Virginia to Florida, because, like, I know you've seen these Florida kids are different.
It's different, bro.
Tell me a little bit about your experience playing high school football there and, like, what you're seeing now, like, what the big differences are.
I think the biggest difference out here is the fact that they can play year-round. Like, and I think it does something to you. You know what I mean? So football itself is a disciplined sport. It's a contact sport, too. Whether you're playing flag or not, like, it's a contact sport. So you kind of got to just be built a little differently. Like, it might hurt sometimes, but you just got to get up, shake it off, keep playing, especially if you want to be great, if you want to stay on the field. So I think that's one thing, that they have an advantage over the North is, like, you can play year-round.
Yeah.
Up there, like, even if they had football year-round, bro, it gets freezing cold. Like, right now, they have, like, 6, 7, 8 inches of snow, bro. So it's like, ain't nobody going outside playing in that, bro. You feel me? So it's like, I think that's one thing that helps it. And then just, I don't know, it's just something in the water out here, bro. Like, the trash talking is, but it's like, it's not even just trash talking. It's kind of like, it's like giving. Like, it's competition, but it's like taking too. Like, boy, you suck. Like, all right, I suck. Watch this then.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go blur on your head real quick. Like, and that's up there too. Like, I'm not gonna lie, but I feel like, especially going back later in the years, like, I don't know, it's a little different, man. Like, I feel like when I grew up, the guys I was around, like my class, and we was there, like, we was a little different too. But now, I don't know if it's technology or what it is, bro. It's social media, like, kids might be in the house a little more, not outside as much.
Oh, yeah.
Not as rough. Like, we was playing football, tackle in the streets, bro. Like, no grass sometimes. Concrete, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, we used to do stuff like backflip off the ACs, no thinking about it. Like, off the, playgrounds. It was just
different,
bro. It was just different. Like, it's not that we didn't care about getting hurt, but we was just like, not fearless almost, but fearless almost. You know what I mean? We were just having fun with it, playing. But I don't know what it is, bro. It is a little different though.
Yeah, that's cool. No, I love to watch like the videos of you like training these young guys too, because you never know. Like, those guys are the ones that are gonna end up like being in your shoes, like playing the big college level and like going and playing the Super Bowl or being on a team that gets to that level. So the one thing I was going to ask you too is tell us a little bit about like your recruitment. I know that you ended up going to JMU. We'll get to that in a minute, but like tell me about your high school recruitment. Like, were you highly recruited? Like, tell me that story.
Nah, man. It was crazy too. So my 11th grade year, well, I start from 9th grade. 9th grade, I didn't get a lot of PT. I did a little bit, but I didn't get a lot, right? So it was a point, and one of my old coaches, real cool with to this day, like kind of, train his sons and stuff like that. But he'll tell you to this day, like, our 9th grade team was nice. Like, we had some ballers on the team. A lot of guys that should have had opportunities, but you know how it is. Like, a lot of guys don't understand grades and all how that play a factor and everything. Hey, y'all young boys, man, get y'all grades right, bro, for real. Don't play with them grades, bro, because you can't do nothing without them grades, for real. But 9th grade, we had some ballers, bro, and I was just one of the guys that was like, I wasn't really shy, but I was just like, you feel me? I always been like this too, like, when my time come or when I get the ball, I'm gonna show you what I can do.
Yeah.
But I won't never like just rah just out loud about it. So it was a point where I think it was a kickoff return, and I wasn't even a returner, bro. I was kind of like up, probably like the second line or something, and they kicked it short. Got the ball, I got loose. My coach was like, hold on, bro. Wait, hold on. What? Like, where that been at, bro? And I'm just like, hey, I just been waiting my turn. You know what I mean? So 9th grade, that was that. 10th grade, they wanted me to play varsity for DB, but our varsity team wasn't the best. So my dad was like, he always been a guy like, you ain't got to rush it. Like, you know what I mean? Your time going to come. Learn the game for what it really is, the fundamentals and everything.
Yeah.
And then go ball and go kill when it's your time. So 10th grade, played quarterback, running back, receiver, athlete, like, all around. And went stupid, bro. Went crazy. Like, so that kind of propelled me to the 11th grade year. And like I said, played quarterback. I was going to come in and play quarterback in 11th grade year.
Wow, okay.
Like, killing all summer, bro. 707's going crazy. Like, we out there snapping, bro. No cap. And, we end up getting a new head coach. So he ended up bringing his son in. And,
it's like that.
But it was cool. Like, in the long run, it's cool now. Yeah. But at the time, I'm like, bro, like, what we doing, bro? Like, but shout out Coach Sherrick. Shout out Mason, man. So in the long run, it's cool. But at the time, I'm like, bro, I'm out here balling. Like, what you mean? We ain't gonna have no competition. Like, I can't see if I can beat him out. He just a starter. But they was like, I kind of understood what they were saying. Like, we had a lot of, like, me, my cousin. We had other guys, Diamante, guys that was speedy, could go catch the ball, go do stuff with the ball in their hand. So they was like, let him play the point guard and dish it out to us almost. But it just didn't translate as well as, we thought it would. Like, as far as my side, like, he was more right-handed, looked to the right, and I usually played the left, which I still had a, decent year, but it wasn't what I was, wanted. Sure. But after that year, going into 12th grade, and I got a couple snaps here there at quarterback. Going to 12th grade, though, they was like, hey, like, it's your turn. Mind you, 11th grade year, I took my dad's advice finally and ran track.
Okay.
That did a number for my – not really, I was always fast, but, like, just learning how to really run, learning how to keep my speed, and just, just really moving with it, like, that did a lot for my game. So
it's crazy that you say that. I don't mean to cut you off.
No, you good.
I've been telling guys so much that, like, track is so important.
Right, it is.
Because, like, and we'll talk more about, like, getting into the NFL and all this stuff, but testing becomes so important. That form of running, like, yeah, you run in practice.
Right.
Like some of these guys are like, oh, I'm running 20, 21 on the GPS. And like, that's all well and good.
Right.
But form running is different.
It's different, bro.
And these testing, it's just so much different. So if I can get guys to come down here to Tampa and work out and work on that form running, whether it be that 3-cone drill, you know, just straight 40, even if it's just the splits of the 40, just
Yeah.
getting that first 10 and 20 split, like guys just don't get it. But
Facts.
that's why I'm like, hey, if you can go and train track
Yeah.
or just get their workouts and go and do them on your own, like that's going to take you miles
Nah,
when the
seriously,
season
bro.
comes up.
Because also it's like that start too. You know what I mean? And
Start,
that's
huge.
kind of what I train, like, as far as like when I get out the receiver blocks and I'm training my guys, I'm like, hey, you ran track? When they say yes, I'm like, cool. Your drive phase. This is what I need right here. Because that's going to tell you everything you need to know. Like, you can't pop up. If you pop up straight out your break, the DB right on you, bro. Or you're going to slip. You know what I mean? So you got to come out like a drive phase. Because for one, a lot of guys don't know you got to come out your break faster than going in.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's going off on a tangent. But, you know, the track really helped me open up my game a lot more, bro. So going into my 12th grade year, like, it was different, bro. Like, you know, and like I said, I was always a guy. I wasn't a big rah-rah guy. But, like, when I got my shot, I got my shot.
Yeah.
Played quarterback, bro. We beat teams we hadn't beaten in 10
So
years.
you play both ways?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quarterback and DB, bro.
And then you return punts too?
Yep.
Woo.
Yeah, all over, bro. All over athlete, bro.
Yeah.
And but you know, it was me and my cousin, bro. He was in the backfield. Like, that was my dog. Still my dog to this day, but like, we had newspaper articles, the dynamic duo, bro. Like, we was killing dudes and we ran speed options. So it's like, I'm gonna get it or he gonna get it. Or I'm gonna just dish it off 80 yards down the field to one, because I could throw too now. I was short, but a lot of people ain't know. Like, I drop back and let that thing fly. And they be like, hold on. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Booby Miles, bro.
No doubt.
But that 12th grade year really opened up a lot. Like, I had a couple letters 11th grade year, but 12th grade year, I tell guys too, like, man, I ain't get no offers until after, like, basketball season. Or really, like, during basketball season, like that winter break area, like, that's when I started hearing some stuff here and there.
Like
went
after
up
your junior football season?
Yeah, this was senior year.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, this was after the senior season. That winter break time, I started hearing some chatter.
I see. So
Yeah.
after your senior season,
Right.
gotcha.
And it was like, the reason I got my offers and how I got them was, I never really like worried about, like, you know what I mean, if offers coming in, that I just always went and played, because that's how I grew up. Like,
So that's the February signing. Then.
Yeah.
We didn't have that early signing period during that time. Yeah. Okay.
so everybody signed in February back then. So yeah, now it's a little different.
Yeah.
But that's how it was, like, growing up, bro. Like, I had always played again. I was kind of like not the middle child of my family, but like middle child, like my whole family. So my older cousins, my dads, my uncles, like, I always wanted to play against them, because my younger cousins have brothers. Like, it was too easy.
Yeah.
So I had to always, you feel me, like, prove myself. I had to always go get it, go grind, and just like, if I wanted to play, it was like, if you want to play, like, you gotta show you're gonna play. Like, you know what I mean? You can't be out here just getting that little kid stuff. You gonna play on the court with the big kids, like, and that's what it was. So like, we going to games, bro. Kids got scouts there that they offered them and that. Like,
yeah.
I'm going crazy, bro. and I won't even like worried about that, but I'm just, that's what it is. Like, we step into another game, I'm going crazy. So like, my JMU offer, that's how I got that. Like, Liberty, that's how I got all my offers, bro. They was, you know, they're looking at another kid. Who the hell is number 2, bro? Slide
So
out the
what did it come
sideline.
down to? JMU, you said Liberty. Like, who are the big players in your recruitment?
Man, it was JMU. It was Liberty.
Okay. And that's local too, right? Lynchburg?
Yep,
Yeah,
Lynchburg, probably like hour and a half up the street. JMU was 45 up the street. And it's crazy too. Like, I had a couple other schools too, probably like 7, 8 other schools, Wofford, Georgia Southern, stuff that offered me like that. UVA wanted me to walk on. I'm like, bro, what? I'm like, nah, you just seen what I did this year, bro?
Yeah.
Mind you, I ran a 4.3 at their camp the previous summer. So I'm like, what are we talking about? I'm like, nah, I ain't finna walk on, bro. And y'all weren't even that good at the time.
Yeah.
So I'm like, no. So they was like, you know, let me know what JMU say. When I went over to JMU, Mickey Matthews at the time was like, you know, we want to give you 75%. Like, I wish we had more money. But by the time I got back home, he's like, bro, we found some more money. We good. We gonna give you the whole 100,
Ain't
bro.
that always how it works?
You
We
feel
found
me?
some more money.
Like,
we
where?
just found it under our
You feel
mattress.
me? Like,
Come on now.
Would you open the cabinet up? Like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
So, and it's crazy, bro. Like, when I got back home, like, because my head coach took me to JMU. It's a 45-minute drive. We got back to Charlottesville, bro. VMI was sitting at the school waiting for me. And I had just heard the news at JMU. Like, we just talked. He like, Rashard, like, I'm like, man, listen, coach, I ain't gonna lie. I ain't going to no military school, bro.
No.
I'm gonna keep it honest with you, bro.
No.
I'm gonna keep it honest. So, and that kind of played a part too, because my other head coach that I was talking about earlier, Chris Johnson, he's like, bro, I know, you was a late bloomer. So, you know how schools and offers go away. He was like, listen, bro, just go to Fork Union for me for 6 months, bro. Just go there for the fall season. I already got, it was West Virginia and Tennessee. Like, they just ain't had no money at the time. So he was like, bro, they can give you money after, after this semester, when they recoup, they ain't got it. I'm like, bro, listen, I ain't finna go March, bro. JMU told me they finna offer me full ride. I'm thinking I'm going to JMU. Yeah. So it came down to JMU and Liberty ultimately. And Liberty, Coach Gill and all them boys was great. But I had to talk to my family. My mom knew, like, because she grew up in the church. They had us grow up in the church. But she was like, is that what you really want to do? Like, because she already knew who I was, me and my brothers. And, like, I live by God to this day. But it's like one of those personal roads that you had to kind of go into and grow into. At the time, bro, I'm like, man, I'm not finna go sit in church all day, bro. Especially after the football season over with, bro. Like, no, bro. So ultimately, it came down to JMU. I love my recruiting visit. I love my official visit.
Yeah.
They had you out there in the springtime with all the flowers blooming, the fountains going crazy. So, that was like, bro, this is definitely home. The facilities was nice. The stadium dope. So
I respect it, man. Like, I just being in the job I'm in right now, like, have had so many guys ask me for help with their recruitments. What frustrates the hell out of me is when everybody thinks that it's Power 5 or bust or Power 4 or bust. And then you come and look at the draft. Like, I was just in Dallas 2 weeks ago for College Gridiron Showcase. One of the best players I watched out there. JMU isn't in the CAA anymore. They're in Group of 5 now.
Nah, they was in the CAA. They in Sunbelt now.
So this kid, he was up at Bryant University. Gosh, I'm blanking on his name. Wide receiver. Cold.
Killing.
Ice cold. I mean, like, SMU had like 4 or 5 guys out there. Their best DB cooked them. Like, any of the best DBs cooked them. I'm like, go somewhere where you can play. So I'm assuming that's kind of like what JMU was saying to you, was like, hey, you can come here and play. And like,
and it wasn't even too much of that too. I mean, it was, but it was just like,
but compared to like a Tennessee and a West Virginia and all that stuff, like, that's a stretch.
Facts.
And like, what guys don't understand is that those schools like Tennessee and West Virginia, they like you. Well, what they really want you to do is be a scout team dummy.
Yeah.
And like, for you, go and return kicks
exactly
against their number one special teams, right? And like, that helps them get better, but that doesn't help you get to the league.
Exactly. It don't help me really develop like I want to. And at the time too, I was a little naive going into it. Like, I didn't really know too much about the process. So I was just, hearing what I was hearing and going from there. But I was also a guy too, like I said, a late bloomer almost, because like my 11th grade year, I didn't really get the numbers that I wanted. But 12th grade year, I took off like crazy. So it was, with me and Central Virginia, is like a big exposure thing too. Like, you don't really get a lot of exposure. So like you talking about the guy from Bryant, like, bro, he could be the coldest one in his class, but it's all about exposure. Like,
yeah, nobody goes to Rhode Island.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, if teams not going to Rhode Island to see him, how somebody gonna see him? So it don't matter where you go, bro. Like, it all about what you do with the opportunity. That's all it is at the end of the day.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Well, one other thing I kind of wanted to talk about was the transition from high school to college. I think that you can give us some good perspective on that. I think some of these guys out here that I talk to, they get mistaken with, they think that, hey, I'm a good player in high school, I'm a ball in college. Like, talk about your transition from high school to JMU. Like, what was difficult for you? Like, what did it take for you to get to the spot where you ended at JMU? Like, as a, second team All-American and, special teams player of the year, like, what did it take for you from the minute you walked in the door to get to that point?
I think with me, man, it was like really just buying into the program, right? And like I talked about me being naive, like, I just didn't know that you couldn't do the work. Like, you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't really know you had a choice. Like, since a young age, my parents never really made it a choice that I was going to go to college. It was like, you going to college. Like, you know what I mean? That was a dialogue. So, and then with a father, you know what I'm saying, and a family that was crazy competitive, always good, like, you just had to work hard. Yeah. Like, it won't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you wanted it, you had to go get it. And that's what I live by to this day. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like really just buying in, like, going in, doing my thing, and I was kind of like a smaller recruiter, I say, just because, like I said, the exposure, right? I got my offers late. We had guys like my dog Brandon Ravenel, different other guys that came in that had, you know, stars and different things like that. They just had bigger hype, their exposure, what it was, and like, you know, they definitely lived up to it. But I always had that workhorse mentality, like, I'm gonna just go get it, like, and that's what it was. I approached every practice like that, balling, doing my thing, and it's crazy, bro, because it was never a conversation whether I was going to redshirt or not, right? So we were just going through camp, doing whatever, and I remember we had a scrimmage, and shout out Rav, too, because if it weren't for Rav being injured at the scrimmage, I probably wouldn't have not redshirted my first year.
Yeah.
So he had got injured, and we had probably like one of the last scrimmages, and I went crazy, bro. Like, went crazy, bro. Like,
It was like a fall camp scrimmage?
yep.
Okay.
Like, sideline, drag, toe tap, catching the ball.
Hell yeah.
The referee come over there like, he good. Like, I'm killing him. And it was just like a regular day for me, bro, because that's what that's how I grew up. I always grew up playing with older guys. I was always the smallest one.
Yeah.
Like, and I was just, cooking, killing, doing my thing. And I ain't never really, like, look at it anything bigger than that. So we got to the season. It was just like, it won't no conversation. Like, it was just like, you playing. Like, everybody else red-shirted that we came in with, it was me, Rav, Javante, and I think maybe one more. And then eventually they brought on Khalid Abdullah, running back, to not red shirt as well. But I was also like 150, bro. So if I had to do them red shirt lifts, I would have died, bro. So that was another thing, too. I was really glad, bro. Like, I'm like, dang, I see them boys doing them crazy.
Yeah.
They used to have these blocks, bro. They was like rubber blocks, probably like 150, 200 pounds. They used to have to like put them on their do all this crazy stuff, bro.
That's crazy.
So I used to be like, man, I'm glad I ain't over there. But
so how many games you start? How many snaps? Like, give us an idea of like how much you played that freshman year.
So my freshman year, actually came off the bench behind a senior.
Okay.
And I scored one time that whole year. And it's crazy because I had to kind of like work my way into it.
Mm-hmm.
But like the first game, bro, like I said, it wasn't no conversation, right? So we get to the first game, and I had juniors in front of me, sophomores in front of me. So I'm sitting on the sideline, I'm chilling. Like, I got my helmet unbuckled. I'm chilling. Like I said, the seniors in the game. It's the first quarter.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking I'm finna get in the game, bro. All of a sudden, Rashard, go. At first, I'm just like, I'm still not like registered because I
didn't even grab that.
Rashard, go. I'm like, oh, so I already had my helmet on, but it won't buckled up. So I'm like, oh, run out there on the field. Joint still not buckled up. Like, I get the play call, everything locked in. All right, cool. Caught my first pass. Like, it was smooth. And then, like, I just played, the rest of the year. Like I said, played behind the senior. Quentin Hunter, shout out my dog, man. He was a big mentor. Still is to this day. But just, like I said, just being naive. And I think the naiveness kind of helped me. Like, a lot of guys go in there being entitled. You know what I'm saying? That, like you said, they big stars in high school, so they go to college with the same mindset. Like, nah, you got to go in there ready to work, bro. Like, you got to go in there and start from the bottom again, earn your spot. And I know, the way recruitment is now, transfer portal, NIL deals, like, you have this sense of entitlement because you done earned it, right? But you also got a lot of people that's chipping at the bit, like, hey, you deserve this, da-da-da-da-da.
Oh, man.
But it's like, bro, you got to be humble at the end of the day. That's not what got you to get the NIL deals, so don't.
It's the work.
You feel what I'm saying? So
work.
don't lose what got you to get there. Don't forget that part about it.
Amen. I couldn't say it any better myself. So let me ask you, did you have an expectation going into that freshman year that you were going to redshirt? I know you said that, like, as camp went on and that stuff, you were like, I'm going to play. I know I'm going to play. But, like, thinking about, when did you get in there, January or May?
Nah, we didn't even get in there, bro, until like August.
Okay.
Hey, Mickey was old school, bro. He ain't bring nobody in until. Except my dog Kyrie. He went in there early and got some lifting in, but I was naive, bro. Like I said, like I didn't understand that you can go get a jump on it. Like they told me I can come in early. I'm like, man, I'm not going in there early. Like I'm staying at home. I'm finna get a little job, get a little money, and I'm finna kick it with my dogs.
So
bro.
crazy that's your mindset. Whereas like today, they're like, oh, I got to get to campus so I can get my check.
You feel me?
You
Right.
know,
like I gotta get there early, get this bread. It was different, bro. But like, nah, I just I didn't even know too much about the red shirt. Just rolled and like just what
were
that
just like,
life
I'm gonna
was.
go play.
I'm just out here playing, bro. Like that's what it was. Like I remember I had a news guy give me an interview that summer going into school, right? And they was like, so what type of workouts and stuff you doing? Like, bro, me and my parents be doing Sean T 25 on the TV at night. Like, that was my workout plan, bro.
Sean
Like,
T, that's crazy.
like, I'm in there going crazy. Like, that was my workout plan. I wasn't in no gym, bro. Like, I did what I always did. Like, I was on the field running. I did biking. I was just always an athlete outside doing stuff. So, like, we was never, like, not in good condition.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, we was never not strong. Like, I was small, but I wasn't weak. Like, you know what I mean? So
for sure.
I didn't really have a mindset going in there. I was just, I'm here playing.
You were, it all just came so quick. Too, It sounds like. I asked the question because, like, one thing I try to set the expectation with guys. Like, for me as an agent, like, I was working with a lot of like college guys that were more tenured. Like, they'd been in there for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Now I've had more guys reach out and work with that are going from that senior year of high school to freshman year of college. And you know this, like, when you're being recruited, everyone's like, oh, you're going to come in and play right away.
Facts.
Like, they're always going to tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
But it never really comes out in the wash like
Mm-hmm.
that. So what I try to set the expectation with guys is, hey, first goal would be, if you are going to redshirt, let's play in those 4 games.
Yeah.
Like, let's get as many snaps as you can in those 4 games. Outside of that, if you can get to over 100 snaps in the first year and retain your red shirt, that'd be a wonderful thing because, like, that's something that you can show for. And then next year, get you to 250, 300 snaps.
Right.
And then the next year, like, you're a bona fide starter. You're playing 400, 450 plus snaps, just depending on what the position is. But I think these guys get in here and they're like, oh, I've got to play 400 snaps from the start. And it's like, I could tell you so many great players in the league now that, like, even Jalen Ramsey didn't really start at first at Florida State. That was my senior year of college.
Right.
Like, he didn't really start like that until later on in the season. So even some of the best guys don't. And what I say is like, don't let that discourage you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's all part of the development because there's another guy, there's a Jared that was in your shoes and, like, just build on what you're doing. And if you take a step back, whether it be injury or you're switching position or not playing as well as you think, like, that's okay. But, like, the goal is, like, how do you keep stacking?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And guys,
facts.
their expectation is just so off coming in. That's like, I got to start. If you go in with that expectation, you're always going to lose.
Right.
You know what I mean? But if you come in this expectation of 100 snaps, that's not asking like a ton.
Yeah, it's not.
But you got to earn those
You get
too.
your feet wet. That's
You
it.
know what I mean? The second thing is practice.
Yeah.
Like, all the guys that I want to work with are all like practice killers. It's
You got to.
absolute killers.
That's where you build at, man. That's where you grow at.
And we'll talk a little bit about the UDFA process too, but that's where I think that if you're going to be a UDFA or you're going to go through that process, you got to be a killer in practice.
You got to, bro.
Because if you don't, that's literally all you got. But I did want to talk, I'm interested to know, thinking back to your college days, talk to us about, I think it was your senior year that you guys go to the championship.
Yeah.
Like, that's probably your biggest year. Like, tell us, take us through that experience.
Man, that was crazy. That was and it's crazy too looking back at it, right? Because, like, the core group of guys that we had that year was the same group that we came in with.
Okay.
Like, my second year in college, we got a new head coach, Everett Withers, and his staff came from Ohio State. We went 6-6 the first year with Mickey Matthews, and man, they clear house. Like, they clear, bro. We had
Staff
this thing.
or players?
Both.
Okay.
Both. But it wasn't even like they let guys go. It was like you quit. Because they put us through Hell Week, bro. Hell Week felt like a month. Like, no lies, bro. Like, you on the field, and I always tell a story to my guys, like me and my dog Carden. The first day, right? So Everett the first banquet we in there with the families. He's like, you know, nice guy, cool, calm, collected. That next morning at 5 a.m., bro, dropped about 50 F-bombs. We looking around at each other like, bro, this ain't, you feel me?
Who's this guy?
Right. But it's like, what he instilled in us at that moment prepared us for that last year. You know what I'm saying? Because it was like, no matter how hard this shit get, like, we just gotta go through it to grow through it. Like, you gotta go through it. You can't quit. What you gonna quit for? Where you gonna go? Like, you know what I'm saying?
He wants
like,
to see who's riding with him too.
That's what it is, bro. So I think he made like 21 dudes quit, bro, in probably like a week and a half.
It'd be like that.
It'd be like that, bro. And you know what I'm saying? The guys that stayed on was the ones that really did something. And even outside of football, like, maybe they not still playing today, but they doing something else because they just didn't quit. Like, you just got to keep going. You got to figure it out, bro.
Yeah.
That's where I got 1,000 hours from. Like, you don't know when that door going to open, but if you steady working, putting that time in, you're gonna be prepared for it all the time. Like, so you know, when we was all clicked up together, Houston and his staff came in the last year, and our offense was always crazy. It was just really like putting the defensive guys like in the right position to work, and just from hearing their perspective, like just giving them more simple calls so they can just play faster.
Yeah.
You know, and that was a big difference, big jump from my junior to my senior. Like, offense was explosive. Like, we had weapons all across the board. Even on coming off the bench, like we had starters that could go somewhere else and go stupid. So it was really like, man, we had a family in the locker room. Like, this ain't ever really get out, but bro, we would have like slap boxing contests in the locker room, but it was all love. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, me and him might have been beefing earlier, or not even beefing. Like, me and him just might have did something earlier. Like, hey, bro, I need you today. Yeah. Like, come on, like, you know what I'm saying? So, but it was just all love. Like,
it's part of the brotherhood.
You feel me? We had that type of relationship, and so we would get in the games. The only game we lost that year was to UNC, bro.
Oh wow!
And that's when they was crazy. They had Ryan Switzer, Mac Hollins.
Oh my gosh!
You know what I mean? Trubisky. Like, they had some guys, and it's crazy because we was about to go up 2 touchdowns on them. A couple mishaps happened here, fumble here. Switzer did a fake punt return on us, almost took it to the crib, so they got momentum, and you know how that go. But that year, bro, we was just running through teams like it wasn't nothing. Even the games where it was like hard, we just knew how to win, bro. We knew how to get through the adversity because we had been there so many times, bro. So that whole year was just special, bro. Like, the stuff we did outside of the locker room, you know what I mean? Those are just memories that's going to stay with you forever.
Oh, yeah.
And just, like you said, just building that brotherhood, bro. You got those guys on your line, you know what I'm saying, you can call to this day. Like, lock in whenever you need them, you know what I mean? So it's always like, when you got guys who go win, like Philly probably could tell you this year. Like, I know when I was with Philly, we won a Super Bowl the first year right after the senior season. Like, it was kind of the same feeling. Like, you got those guys that's like, it's bigger than football. We, you know what I'm saying, we locked in, clicked up. Everybody clicked up outside of here when we leave the locker room. Like, we would go party at nighttime. I remember one time, bro, we was on the bus going to a party. We literally riding past this, like, it was called Frat House Row. We riding past the row. One of my boys like, hey, that's Brett. Long snapper. Mind you, we skilled players. Hey, stop the bus. We done stopped the bus, bro. Middle of the street. Hey, stop the bus. We done hopped off the bus. We thought they was trying to jump him, bro. He was breaking up a fight. So when it was like that's the type of dynamic we had, though. You know what I mean? Like, if you was our guy, you was our guy. We was riding with you. It don't matter. You was on scholarship, walk on, so like, funny. Where it is, bro. Like, that's just what it was,
the
bro.
Long snapper.
The long snapper, bro. Shout out Brett Siegel, man. Yeah. But that's just, you know, what took us there ultimately, like, just being locked in with each other, bro.
Yeah. So I want to get to the Eagles here in a second. But what I think is really important, and I want, like, our listeners to hear this too, because going back to just the shit that I hear from whether it be players or parents or whoever about, you know, the recruiting process, the draft process. One thing I think that people get, like, mistaken all the time is UDFAs make teams and, like, are around for a really long time. And I think your career kind of, like, symbolizes that. Like, you really you grinded. Yeah. Like, for real. So talk to us a little bit about your pre-draft process. If you want to go into the training, I'm sure that'd be really interesting to hear. But just not the traditional, right? You're not a Senior Bowl guy. You're not a combine guy. You know, your pro day isn't huge because it's not like at the biggest Power 5 school and all that stuff. But talk to us about that part of the process, and then I'm interested to hear about your training camp before that first year too.
Yeah. Man, that joint was crazy. Like I said, bro, I was naive through my whole process, bro. Like, that's one of my biggest things now, and that's why I started training. And just even throughout my training, like, you know, I put out videos of just, like, us doing drills. But even within those drills and those sessions, bro, I'm giving them boys so many gems that, like, the public just don't hear. Like, because that's what I wish I had at their time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wish I had those resources, those tools, somebody to drop those knowledge tips on me at the time. Like, so, you know, when we got done, won a national championship, bro, I'm like, bro, we at the top. Like, I done won Special Teams Player of the Year. I still got the record at JMU for touchdowns in a single season. Like, I went crazy. And so I'm just like, you know, I know, like.
Was that touchdowns receiving? Because I know you had the 4 punt returns.
That's the punt returns. Okay, that's the punt returns. So I know, like, I knew that it was going to be, you know, I was going to have some interest, bro. Like, I knew something was going to come through. But I was supposed to, I remember I graduated at the same time. Or I actually graduated before that season ended. I actually graduated in 3.5 years. A lot of guys, they finish out that semester, but I was done. So I went back home, and I was actually, planning to go out to Georgia to train. I can't even remember the place out there, but long story short, like, it just ain't work out for me. Like, it ain't happen. I didn't have an agent at the time, so I just stayed home. Shout out Perry Jones, man. He was a running back at UVA. He had just got done, just like his little stints. He was coaching and stuff, but he started training at the time. And I remember he was working out with my old high school team, getting them boys right. And I was like, bro, like, let's definitely get some work in right now before I head out, because I'm planning on leaving. Long story short, I ain't leave, but, he kind of just took me under his wing, bro, and really, like, got me right in that process, training up into the pro day. And, going into the pro day, I was ready for it, especially, like, I was always fast, so I knew my 40 was going to be a big one.
Ran a 4.3 in high school for crying out loud.
4.3, bro. Exactly, bro. And then, fast forward, JMU, I ran a 4.38 at the pro day, and it was 30 degrees outside, bro. Crosswind.
Was it outside?
Outside,
wow,
bro.
Okay.
Snowed the day before, but it was freezing out there. It might have been less than 30, bro. It was freezing.
Imagine if you would have came running that down the floor. That's a 4.3 too.
You feel me? Like, come on now. And mind you, a lot of the guys out there that was also clocking had me at like 4.2. Low 4.3, but the head guy.
Yeah, let's let the camera see, because one thing people don't know about pro day is it's not laser. It's hand time.
It's hand time.
So these scouts, man, if they be liking somebody, that finger get quick.
You feel
if they
me?
don't like somebody, that thing get a little bit slower.
It's a little slow. And I was a guy too, like, I didn't have nobody in the league before me that could vouch for me. I didn't have, coaches in the league that I might have had previous relationships with or nothing like that. So I'm just a guy out there trying to get it, right? So it ain't no help for them, or ain't no reason for them to try to, help me out a little bit, or whatever the case may be. But so I was just, out there getting it, grinding. And I remember running that number, and some of the scouts out there was like, hey, y'all agents, boy, y'all might want to tap in with him. Like, he don't have an agent right now. So I remember a guy talking to me, and he represented Kareem Hunt. He also represented my boy Taylor Reynolds. So, he was talking to me. Me, like, I'm a people's person. Like, if you want to, rock with me, you want me to vibe with you, like, approach me in the right way, bro. Don't just approach me like, oh, yeah, I represent so-and-so, so you want to sign with me. I'm like, bro, I don't even know you. Like, what we talking about? So that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, bro. Long story short, though, he ended up coming back in handy in the long run, but found my guy, Robert Shahady. He's out of Fort Lauderdale, flew me out there. So I trained with Nick Hicks and those guys that performed.
Nice.
Shout out them boys, Nick and Zach. And they still out there killing it right now, going crazy.
So that was after your pro day you worked out there?
This was after the pro day. Flew down there probably like maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks after, maybe. Was getting some good training out there. And, locking in with them boys. The homie Talon locked me in. They brought me in like family, him and his brothers. We was at South Beach. That was my first time being in Miami, bro. They had me on South Beach at Fat Tuesday.
That's different than Charlottesville.
Facts. Way different, bro. You know how that is. So, that was fun. It was a good experience. Going into the draft, bro, I had a lot of teams call me like, hey, we're going to either take you late or we're going to sign you right after.
Yeah.
Long story short, bro, I ain't hear nothing. Like, drafted going on. Like, mind you, the last day, Pittsburgh called me. Was like, we're gonna sign you right after. Chicago called me, was like, we're gonna take you in sixth round. And I think somebody just had misspoken or something, because I talked to my agent. He was like, nah, they lost that pick because they traded up for Trubisky earlier in the draft.
Oh, wow.
So they ended up losing the pick that dude was talking about. So that ended up not happening. The Pittsburgh thing ended up not happening. And I ended up going Chicago and Jets for rookie minicamp tryout. Did my thing at both, right? But
wow, okay. So you didn't start with the Eagles.
Nah.
Okay.
Yeah, like I had a crazy story there.
First. All right.
Yeah, crazy story there, bro. Had a rookie tryout with both of those mini camps. Kill them. You know what I mean? Did my thing. Didn't get signed to either one. I'm like, dang, like, and that's just one thing we talk about on our podcast, like just that crossroads, right? Like, things don't go your way, like you either gonna quit, give up, or you just gonna keep going. Like I said, Everett Withers and them came in. We had seen so much adversity. Mm-hmm. Like, I seen 3 different head coaches in college, multiple head coaches in high school. My route was never like traditional. So like, I just kept working, bro. Like, I've always been an optimistic guy, and I don't know if it's because of that route that I took, but I've always been an optimistic guy. Like, put that time in. So, bro, it got to a point. I remember my wife now. She wasn't my wife at the time, but we was staying at her mom's house, and she would come home from work, bro, and I'm on the couch chilling. Like, you feel me? I done worked out already. I'm at the crib chilling.
Yeah.
She was like, you know, you might gotta get a job. Like, I'm like, a job? I'm about to be going a little bit. Like, that's just me, you know. But, you know, I ended up getting a waiting job. So, bro, I would wake up in the morning, train myself, go wait tables, probably about 8 hours a day. You on your feet all day, you feel me? Then I'll go train at the end of the night. Like, after that, I'm still training. I'm still working, still ready. Cardinals had called me. I think maybe the Ravens or somebody else had called me. Just asking, was I healthy? You know, how are you? Da-da-da. I'm cool. Nothing else. So one day I'm at the job working, waiting tables. I remember it was slow too. Like, I had one table, and they was parlaying. They was doing anything, just drinking, talking. I'm like, cool. As a waitress, I'm like, cool. Like, I'm vibing. Like, I'm just in the back chilling. And I remember we couldn't have our phones out on the floor, but my joint had vibrated. I had just kind of peeped down at it at the back, and the number was like random numbers. Like, yeah, I gave Philadelphia a number. I'm like, what? And I look, I had a missed call from Philly. I'm like, oh, hold on.
All right.
Then they called back. I'm like, let me just step to the back real quick. Hey, this Chris Knowles from the Eagles scout. You know what I mean? How are you, like, you know, healthy? Just another one of those calls. Like,
always are you healthy?
Right, yeah. How are you healthy? Da-da-da. Cool. All right, bet. Boom. Hang the phone. I go back out there on the floor. Like, 10 minutes later, they call back. I'm like, all right. They don't usually call twice now. Hold on. Go right there. Da-da-da. Like, hey, how far are you from Philly? Like, we might want to work you out tomorrow. Da-da-da. I'm like, oh. Like, hold on. You talk about workout now. Like, I'm like, about 4 hours. Like, what you need? Like, let me know something. So he like, all right, I'm going to call you back. I'm going to let you know. End up calling me back. And first they wanted me to drive, but they was like, nah, we're going to fly you out, get you up here bright and early in the morning. They talking about 6 a.m. flight, but mind you, it's probably like 8 already, going on 9. Like, I had my table still chilling, sitting there. So I'm like, all right, say no more. Just let me know. Like, they was like, all right, bet. Call back. We booked your flight, da-da-da. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not a guy that's going to be like, rah, da-da-da. Like, so I'm trying to wait my table out, bro. But they like really chilling. Like, you feel me? They got some red wine. They vibing. Like, and this was like, I was working at a seafood spot. It was called Rock Salt. So it was like, you know, a little higher in price value as far as like, you know, the food on the menu, the seafood, the red wine. So, you know, they was chilling. They was sipping their wine, letting the air out, all that good stuff. So one of my boys I work with, he was like, I went in the back. He was like, hey, I got your table cleared out for you. I said, huh? He like, yeah, I told him they had to go, bro. You got to work out in the morning.
Yeah.
So, you know, end up getting up out of there, bro. Flew out in the morning. And when they killed the workout, bro, out there by myself, it was probably like 15, 16 coaches.
Yeah.
Killed the workout. Got signed right after that.
So they gave you a contract to go to camp.
Yeah.
Okay.
And no, camp was already started.
Oh, camp had already started.
Yeah, so they was already one preseason game down.
This is all great perspective. What I'm trying to highlight here is a couple things. One is that, like, this process is really pretty, like, it's a lot of people go through this. Yeah. The rookie minicamp thing. Mm-hmm. So, like, you had teams being like, hey, we're going to sign 6th round, sign after the draft. And then you end up minicamp.
Facts.
All right, keep grinding. Get through minicamp. Minicamp goes well. Then you got training camp, right? You're saying that training camp already started.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
They start getting their work
those people trying to sign UDFA to get to camp, they're already going to do their rookie mini camp and all that type of stuff. So it's funny you mentioned about the job too. People don't understand this. They're like, oh, even if you go UDFA, like you sign a contract right then and there, there's no pay until the games.
Nah, it ain't.
So even in camp, you're getting per diem.
Yeah.
And it's based off of like where you're at. So you're talking about 2016, 2017, the per diem is probably like $1,000 a day.
Bro, maybe. You probably was, it wasn't even that, bro. You probably was
week
getting.
Or something like that?
Yeah, it was per week. I'm trying to think we was getting per week, bro. It was.
Yeah, it's a weekly.
Low.
Sorry, not
like,
daily.
You know what I mean? It was low though. Like, you ain't getting too much.
And
like,
if you're in California, now you get all the taxes taken out of that.
And I was out in Oakland before they moved.
Yeah.
So I know how them California taxes is, bro. But yeah, like you said, bro, training camp had already started. Like, mind you, they already had their first preseason game. So that's probably about week 3 of training camp. Like, I'm just at the crib, like, grinding, though. I'm like, the call gonna come in. The call gonna come in. I don't know what day, but the call gonna come in.
I love this because one thing I tell all these guys, and I feel like I'm talking to a wall, be ready for your opportunity.
Whenever.
be ready for your opportunity when it comes to you, because when it's there, like, you want to shine. You don't want to be the dud.
Facts.
And so many guys are unprepared for the moment.
Yeah.
You're talking all this stuff about, I worked my whole life and all this stuff, but you give it away because in the last 6 months, you thought you were too good. You thought you didn't need to work out. You thought you didn't need to put in that extra time. It's like, there are so many guys trying to come into the league doing exactly the same thing as you. Let me talk to the camera. 1/3 of the NFL is undrafted.
Facts.
Let me say that again. 1/3 of the NFL is undrafted. They're making $785,000-$90,000 a year this year. Come on now. Like, it doesn't have to be that, like, Senior Bowl, combine, all that type of stuff. So no, I love to hear the story, but
because it's crazy too. Most of the league that's made up is not even drafted guys.
Oh no.
Like, most of, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what the number is, but especially, like, it might be drafted, but it's not the first 3 rounds.
But think about it like this too. You could get drafted, get cut, and spend your time on another team. Exactly. And that's how you made your time in the league. So even if you got drafted by that team, you get your heart broken because they drafted you in the 5th, 6th, 7th round. Then you get cut. In the same situation, you got 3 other teams that want to sign you.
Exactly.
So.
And they'll tell you too, bro. Play for them. Play for the other 31 teams in the league. Like,
for sure.
Even if we don't got the numbers, somebody else might be looking at you. They might have wanted to draft you, but we got you first.
Yeah.
You get cut, whatever. Like, oh, now we got him on the board. You know what I mean? Like, you got to go play for them 31 other teams, bro, because you don't know who looking.
Yeah.
At the same time, like,
that's very true.
You don't know. Okay, boom, similar situation, and this is hypothetical, but, like, you know what I mean? You could be out there, the ball ain't come my way, so I'm gonna chill on this play. Like, I'm tired, I'm gonna chill on this play. Boy, you got 31 other teams looking at you. They don't know the ball not coming your way.
Hey, think about how many pro scouts there are per team. 32 teams, plus you got 5 to 7 pro scouts.
Facts.
So do the math. Like, there's a ton of people that are watching all of that film.
They taking notes.
What I want to hear from you is, like, all right, so you go to camp, you get cut, you sign practice squad, right? You get cut multiple times during the season. Talk about that adversity.
It was crazy. Like, so I went to camp, right? And it was two preseason games left. And I did my thing in both of them. But, you know, they brought me in, and they told me, they was like, you know what I'm saying, we like you a lot. Like, just be ready. You know, numbers game, da-da-da. Like, again, naive. I ain't know nothing about nothing. So they telling me that. I'm like, cool. Like, I'll be back for sure. Still working out, grinding. They brought me back probably, like, week 3 or 4 because Sproles got hurt. And, you know, they see what I could do. They like what I could do at punt return, da-da-da. But they brought me and Kenyon Barner back. So, because Kenyon had been there before, a couple years before that. So, you know, he had been there, veteran guy. They trust him a little more than a rookie, obviously. And I was in practice squad, bro, killing. Like, I came in the first week, numbers, bro. Like, and I remember that first week I got signed. I'm thinking, like, I'm cool now. Like, you feel me? They just signed me during the season. I'm good. Yeah. I done went and got a car, bro, because my car in college was messed up. So they signed you to active
during the season?
Nah, they signed me to practice squad when they brought me in.
Oh, so you're like, oh, I'm chilling.
I'm straight, though, because I ain't know how the transactions went, right? So I went and got a car just because, like, my college car was already, like, it was on its last limb. Yeah. So I'm like, I need a car, bro. Ain't about to be up here in Philly, cold weather, snow. Like, I had got a Jeep and killing, going crazy. After that week, bro, they cut me. I'm like, bro, what? Like, after I just did what I did all week? Like,
you be the best player on the team, they'll still cut you.
What are we talking? They like, yeah, you know, one of the D linemen got hurt, so we got to bring in D linemen, like, da-da-da. And I'm like, why you got to cut me, bro? Like, so I'm on the way back home. Mind you, I just got a new car, bro. Like, I'm on the way back home. I was supposed to go sign a lease that day. I'm glad they cut me right before I signed the lease. So I'm on the way back home, call mom, mad, da-da-da. And I just went back to work. Like, went back to work, did my thing. 2 weeks later, called me. I think probably like 2 weeks later, they called me back, signed me again. And I'm like, so what's the word? Like, we going...
Yeah, so you got signed to practice squad 3 times during that season?
I think it was like 3 times, bro.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But that's the reality of the situation.
Literally.
It's like, you could be working out for teams, you could be practice squad, like, you could get active, and then they bring you back to practice squad, then they cut you off for practice squad and bring you right back to active. Like, it's just the roster management thing that's the perspective I try to give to players and their parents. And what's really interesting about it is, like, we're dealing with that more in college now, where guys are starting to see that, like, hey, college is more of a business too.
I about to say that money involved, it's a business, bro.
So, that's all really good insight. I do want to take some time to, like, transition the back half of this conversation. I always love to talk about the business of sports, whether it be NFL or college football. So I actually had an interesting question for you. Thinking about where we're at today with NIL and transfer portal, you're junior year of college, you're going into your senior year. Let's say you hit the portal. How much are you trying to ask for?
Man, what? I need that cheese, bro.
Yeah.
Especially because my junior, I went crazy too, bro. Shout out Vad Lee. That's my dog, bro. He's supposed to win the Heisman if he ain't mess his foot up. First dude to bring the Heisman Trophy to JMU campus. Like,
wow.
Big man on campus, ESPN out there. Like, that boy went crazy for real. And, but he was throwing that rock, bro. Like, he was throwing that pill for real. Like, so, you know, I did numbers. We had game day the first year. Game day had never been to JMU against Richmond. That's the game he got hurt to. I had 2 touchdowns against Richmond. We ended up losing, but, like, bro, I would just be going crazy, bro. Like, and, I don't know, man. I'm hitting the transfer portal with this day and age. I need at least 4.5, bro. Like I'll take maybe 350 on the low end.
Yeah,
at least 4.5,
you need
bro.
a little check.
What?
But give me just like your initial thoughts on NIL, whether it's 2021 where it started or where we're at today, transfer portal, just like knowing what you know about college, the league, and everything that you know, like. What sort of game can you give to these younger guys coming up?
Yeah, man. I say really take advantage of the opportunities. You feel what I'm saying? Like the transfer portal is a great thing, but it's also a bad thing as far as like a lot of guys, I think they jump into it and they don't understand that it's probably not gonna be always the outcome that you're looking for. Like if you're a guy that you know what I mean, you know the business a little bit, you got teams, so, you know, talking to you, you know that you got an opportunity. Yeah. You're also real with yourself that you can really go ball somewhere else.
That's a huge part, real with yourself.
You got to be real with yourself, bro. Don't lie to yourself, because at the end of the day, it don't matter like what other people saying. It don't matter what you can lie to and say to other people. Like, you know at the end of the day what you can do, bro, and what you've done, what work you really putting in.
What you've done. That's the important part. What have you done? Because I don't mean to cut you off, but like when these guys come out, right, and they want to hit the portal, a lot of them want to come out and they haven't done anything. And it's like, if you, like, thinking about your time, man, you're talking about practice squad or even like when you were at JMU and the practice stuff, is like if you're balling in practice, right, that'll give you an opportunity to play in the game. Like, you can take all the business stuff out of it, but like if you're balling in practice, you should play. A lot of these guys, where they get stuck is, and this is what I don't think the parents and players understand, is that now in college, you're on a 2-year window. You get recruited, you have your freshman year, and you have your sophomore year, right? If you get to the end of your sophomore year and you're still playing on scout team,
come on, bro.
See ya.
Like, be real with yourself.
Be real with yourself.
Like,
but then they think that, oh, well, I've been working hard. I've been doing all this stuff. Like, I should get this. And then they go into the portal, and then it's not the opportunities that they thought. And I hear some guys say, like, oh, well, I'm at a Power 4 school. I tell them, like, hey, you're most likely going to have to go down a level and really ball out. And that's okay. We're not worried about money. We're working at how do we get to the league, right? But then they're like, oh, if I went down to that level, like, I'd need, like, if I'm a receiver, I need 10 touchdowns. I need 1,000 yards receiving. I need, like, some running back opportunities. It's like, say what?
Facts.
Like, what? Like, let's start with getting in the game.
Exactly. I'm about to say, first off, what you mean you need? Like, first off, you got to go earn that. You understand that, right? Like, they can't give you 10 touchdowns, bro.
And that's why I think that, like, what I'm interested to see in this next 3 is these guys that are transitioning from college to the league, how many more of those day 1 and 2 picks just phase out because they don't got it up here.
Yeah.
And they're going to get a big check, and that's all nice, but...
Bruh, that's one thing we talked about, me and John Franklin on our pod. It's like, it's the like I said, transfer portal is a good thing, but it's a beast at the same time, right? Because, like I said, sophomore year came in, Everett Withers, they knocked 21 out. It was 21 guys off but the core guys that stayed, bro, what that built, you know what I mean? Like, between each other, but also within yourself, you got to go through something to grow through something, bro.
Tell them again.
Like, come on, man. You really got to, literally, you got to go through something to grow through something. Amen. Like, if you hear all the best people in the world say, if I would have never failed, I would have never been what I am today. Because you got to learn through your failures, bro, to get to the top. Nobody has gotten to the top and has never failed. It has never, and it's not even a loss, bro. It's a lesson. That's why I tell people, like,
amen. You're
not losing nothing unless you quit. If you quit, then it's over with, like, because you shut it down. But if you learn from it and then grow from it and then go higher, like, that's the purpose of it, bro. Like, and, you know, that's the thing about the transfer portal, too. Everybody want to give up when they ain't getting the reps they want to get. Everybody want to give up, they ain't starting, or the money they want. Like, you want to give up and go somewhere else for what? For the same situation or for an easier situation? easy not gonna always get you what you want, bro. Especially not in the long run.
If it was easy, everybody would be doing it.
feel
That's
what I'm
why I
saying?
tell everybody, I'm like, you want to become an agent? If it was easy, everybody would be doing it.
Exactly.
It's difficult, man. Like whether you're a player, agent, coach, whatever it is. So
They always say that the things that last the longest are the hardest things in life. Like,
yeah.
everybody want to be in the league until you figure out the work you got to put in to get to the league.
And stay in the league.
Stay in the league, bro.
Stay in the league is so difficult.
You gotta be literally the 1% of the 1% of athletes in the world is in the NFL, bro.
Amen. I did want to touch on you. I seen you on social. You do a great job with content. First off, so kudos
appreciate
to you.
it, bro.
But I've noticed that you've done some brand partnership. You got YK here today. I think Canes was another one you've done before. Talk a little bit about the brand partnerships that you've done. Why you choose the brand partners and why like brand building is important to you.
So with me, man, like, and I preach this to my guys too, bro. Use your brand, bro. Like, you are your brand. So what you put out on socials, everybody else looking at that too, bro. Not just your friends, not just your relatives. Like, everybody's looking at that. So
yeah,
if you go to reach out to a company, and that's what I tell people too, like, bro, just DM companies. Like, that's what I do. I just DM companies.
Is that how you
bro.
got with like YK and
Yeah,
stuff
I
like
just
that?
literally
How many
just
followers do you
DM.
have on Instagram?
I think now it's 11.7.
So it's not like you have a crazy amount.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just the organic stuff that you're doing on there, the love that you're doing, bro, and like just being yourself, bro. Like, I remember when I DM'd them, I DM'd them back in 2018. They was like, at the time, like, you know what I mean, it ain't working out, DM'd them again probably like a month ago.
They were like, let's go.
I talked to the guy, the director of the partnerships on the phone, and, you know, we were just chopping it up. And he was like, you know, at the moment, like, he was just keeping it real. Like, at the moment, like, we don't got a lot of water resources because we're doing a lot of stuff mainly for the islands now. Like, that's what we transition our stuff over to, right? So I was like, no, for sure, I definitely understand that. But we just got to talking. Like, he was just hearing me talk, telling my story, and just, like, really hearing, like, what I'm about, what I do, like, and why I do my stuff. Like, and he was like, man, we just got to find a way to work. Like, you feel me? Like, you know, I'm going to send you some product. Like, we going to, you know what I'm saying, work out this stuff, da-da-da. Like, we just got to figure out, like, just how to do it. Like, let's just start 3-month basis. I'm like, that's cool. Like, because I already know what I'm going to do. You know what I'm saying? One, when I got the product in my hand. And two, like, I told him, like, I've been a big consumer since, matter of fact, 2019 was when I reached out. So I was with the Titans, and Marcus Mariota brought the water in. I was like, bro.
Nice.
I was like, what water is that? He was like, oh, this from my hometown, like, da-da-da. And then he would start bringing me the waters every day because I just like the water. For some reason, it tastes a little, I don't know, it tastes a little fresher, bro. You know what I mean? It tastes a little better. But, so I'm just, I like brands that I'm a consumer of and that I personally believe in. Like, I don't really want to do stuff with people just cause, like, you know what I mean? So, like, that Kane footwear, like, I tore my Achilles in 2023, and I've been having just recovering back and getting my feet back right. Like, I got some Canes from the Jets when I was with them, and I really wore them a lot because, you know, they was like really helping my feet. Like, just felt good. I could slip them on, like, and they were comfortable. And that's why I reached out to them and, like, you know, just started
Canes,
out with them.
if you want to sponsor the podcast, man, I love Canes too, man. I wear mine all the time. So
Facts, bro. Shout out Canes. I love them joints, bro. No, like, people be like, man, how are the shoes? I'm like, bro, I wear these joints all day, every day.
Yeah.
Like, go outside wearing Canes. Like, going to the store wearing Canes. Step out to the mall or something, I got Canes on. Like, so, you know, different brands like that. One, like I said, just DM them, bro. Like, you are very powerful. Like, athletes, content creators, influencers are very powerful because that's the only way brands gonna get their stuff seen
100%.
nowadays. Like, everybody on social media.
I love your approach too. Was like, go DM a brand that I actually use their product and I've drinking the water, I've worn the shoes, so on and so forth. You didn't come in there with an expectation of like, hey, I want to get paid X amount of money.
Facts.
Like, I want to find a way to do a partnership with you. The problem that I see with all the players right now in this NIL age is that they expect a paid social post. They're like, hey, I want $500 for the post. But like, what did you do to earn that?
Right.
You know, and what value are you giving them? Like, if you've only got 1,000 followers and you're giving them no reach, why would they give you $500?
It don't make sense, bro.
And it's just like, that's where it gets tough for me. And I always tell players when I go to sign them, especially in college, I'm like, hey, if you want to do marketing, great. We've got guys like Frank at Second Nature who are like some of the best, you know, in sports marketing space, right? But if you're not willing to put in that work, just like you are on the field, it just don't work that way. And like, brands are going to see right through that. So like, your approach is like so refreshing because it's organic, like it's what works. And like, that's how you actually can lead to, all right, if you're giving them reach, they're gonna have to pay you.
All right, you know what I mean?
Because they're gonna be like, man, this dude's out here just like giving us so much reach and like hasn't asked for anything from us. Like we got to take care of him.
And
so
that's
like,
what it is for me too. My family to cut you off, but like that's just how I approach it. Like I don't even go into stuff, bro. And I think maybe that's just like how I grew up. Like my dad and them, they never approached like, cause you know my grandparents stuff. Like we never was rich, but like we was rich in family. We was rich in love. Like we still got a lot of land, you know, back from where I'm from. And it's like that's what we do. Like we just outside, you know, having fun on what we have. We gonna play with what we got, bro. Like. Like I said, we using a tree for a basketball post.
Yeah.
We making a backboard out of some wood. We gonna find some, like they had some old basketball rims. But even if like that court won't available at the time, like the little kids sometimes we'll go down the path. That's what we called it, cause like you just walk through the little path.
Yeah.
We had like old milk cartons. We cut the bottom out, bro. That was our backboard, or that was our basketball court, funny. Bro. Like so it's just like understanding that if you just be organic, show like, you know, like you said, like what you really are about, who you really are, people gonna want to connect themselves with you. People gonna want to work with you. And then once that happens, once that's shown, once you say, you know, like, okay, he's really doing this. Like he really bringing this in. Like we ain't even asking for this, but he going out because it's like, it's real. Like I really like drinking the water. So I'm gonna have the water in most of my videos.
Yeah.
I like wearing canes. So I'm gonna have the canes. You know what I mean? Like I wear, I started working with this company now. They got padded shiesties. Like everybody wearing the shiesties now, but it's like it's for aesthetics. They got the padded shiesties to go under the helmets. Shout out Gator Tech. Go under the helmets. They got 7-on-7 padded shiesties for, you know, when you out there. So it's like me. I seen like I was in USFL. They mistakenly put a Guardian cap on my helmet one time, bro. I'm like, you don't take this heavy ass cap off my head, bro. Like, but it was like, you know, I had ran into Gator Tech at the coaches convention, and they was like, bro, they were just talking to me. I was like, man, I got to tap in with y'all, bro, because, like, this is something that, you know, I really want to rock with. I went up to Destroying one-on-one tournament, bro, like a couple weeks ago. Yeah, up in Tally. Nice. And I had the Gator Tech on, bro, because I'm like, if I'm gonna do this, I'm trying to be safe. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm really trying to, you know, like I said, keep my head together, bro, because, one, that's a big thing these days, but y'all got to be safe with y'all brains, bro, for real.
Amen.
Mental health is everything, bro. And that's just like I said, that's something I live by, bro. Just go out and be organic, be yourself, bro, and everything else gonna take care of itself, bro.
Hell yeah. Well, I've loved the conversation, man. I appreciate you coming on. Tell the people where they can find you on social.
Hey, find me at Sweetfeet_. No, my fault. Take that back. Sweetfeet6_. TikTok, Twitter, Rashard Davis 6. If you want to tap in with the podcast, man, we at AHOTM_. You know, we got the new Mud Talk platform going right now. Yeah. A lot of the high school, college, early pro guys, just, you know, giving them gems, tapping in with them, and just letting them have a voice, bro. Letting them have a voice and just, you know, tell herself. But, yeah, man, tap in with me, man. We're going to lock in, bro.
Well, appreciate the time, bro.
Likewise.
Playmakers only.
Yes,
out.
Sir.